Alright YouTube, we are doing a clutch change on my Yamaha FZ6. It's going to be a Barnett clutch. I already destroyed the package so I can't show it to you. The manual isn't very clear, especially if you're using an aftermarket clutch. There's supposed to be some differences in the plates. I think there's two different types of plates. There's two individual plates that are different than the other 6. And then in these, one is different than the other 7. And this thicker one goes in first. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm just going to take it apart and look at the old stack and see. Here we go. You should start by draining the oil. And after you've drained the oil, you can remove the clutch cover. You need to disconnect your clutch, which there's a little tab on right here to remove the cable. It's on this side of so you can get the cable off. Let's get to it. No washers? Pushing this clutch holder away. Just pushing this clutch holder out of the way, thing that guides the cable. This clutch cover is extremely sharp on this edge. I like it close. Let me see what's on there. Socket, yeah. Take all the socket. It's not over this. But I'm going to Alright. Keep on from Gasket. There's that one from Gasket, so no. There's. So that runs the shine. Looks nice, huh? if you look there, this one is brown. It's darker. It looks different than the others. So there should be one like that in the new kit. I don't know what the differences are. I measured them all. They're all the same thickness. So. Oh shit, I'm happy I did this. So here's my current clutch, and there's one of the plates. So I'm happy I did this service. That is not good. I need to do it now. I'm taking this apart. So it's the same one? I thought it was just contained inside the small bits. Do you want more piece? No, wait, two more pieces. What is that? And the last one is a plate. So you end with a steel, or start with the steel when you're putting it back together. And this steel should be thicker than all the others. That's why I have one of mine set aside. So here we go. So this is the thicker steel. It goes in first, the sharp edge out. This edge is sharp, this edge is dull. So when you look at the stack, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this first one here is brown on the edge. So that would be the top friction, the last friction disc that went in. And this first one that shattered is also that brown edge. So those are the only differences. This first steel, the one that I already put in, is 0.4 millimeters or 0.3 millimeters thicker. So that one goes in first. The rest of them are all identical. And then supposedly 2 of these should be brown. Now this is an aftermarket clutch. It's a Barnett clutch. So there is no, I measured them all. They're all the exact same thickness. There's no visual differences on them. They're all exactly the same. So the only conclusion I can come to is that the aftermarket clutch, they're all the same disc, and it doesn't matter what order they go in. I'm going to look at each fiber as I put it together, and hopefully they all look the same as I go and everything, and we could just put it back together. Friction, steel. Friction. There's steel at the edge. You don't want dogs in there and realize you put them in the right direction and take the whole thing apart. I've done it. Son of a bitch. Wow. I heard it's just outside friction though, so it wouldn't make a difference. I use soap for about 30 minutes. The manufacturer actually says only soap for 5 minutes, and any more than that, you won't see any difference right now. So, and I'm not believe the manufacturer product. So my advice is to get it. So there you go. That'll be the last one. That's full stack. And it's editing. So now, crazy. I think I'll line up with this triangle. These springs are pretty, I mean, they shouldn't be able to be compressed that easily. And also there's supposed to be a coating on them, and I can feel that coating is just, like this side it looks good, and then you flip it over, it's versus a new one which looks the same all the way around. So. Okay, so this punch mark right here is one that lines up with this bolt hole. It lines up directly with that one right there above that bolt hole. So that's how you do it. Alright, so the manual calls for 8 Newton meters on the spring bolts and 12 on the cover bolts. There you go, they're all about the same now. Now the manual says to make it so the teeth on this push rod are pointing that way. So if you can see those teeth right there, this is to have them face the rear of the bike. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes sir, getting ahead of myself. Need to put one of these on. Before we can do that, we gotta clean the surface. So this is all I could find. Usually you'd want a specific knife. If I was at my old house and my garage was set up, I'd have a flat edge that I could use, like a razor blade that was flat edged like a screwdriver. You can go around the edge, but I'll use a combination of just a regular old screwdriver and this to get rid of the old gasket gunk. And the trick is, especially with this, you don't want to cut into the aluminum, into the metal. So you need to be very careful and maintain a pretty, like a flat edge, You don't want to be going like this too much. You want to go like that. See, there's a leftover crap stuff on there. Over the ceiling. See all that. Also have to use a new razor blade to do this. Yeah, I'm just gonna go watch the warning parts.
really seeing how this goes on. So I like to put the gasket on the side with the dowel pins, just to make it easier. Dowel pins will hold the gasket in place for you.